They're probably they're probably hearing through the little tiny.
They're hearing through the microphone on there, I believe.
Yeah, we need to get sound from the. Maybe that is the black magic.
Greg, we can hear you pretty clearly.
Can you?
You can hear us good?
Yeah,
Okay, well, maybe we're in good shape then.
there's a bit of an echo, but it's intelligible.
I think the reason is because the microphone and the camera is on, and you're just hearing the noise from the big speakers in here coming through it. Give us a few minutes to get the sound worked out, okay?
Okay.
Waiting for this sound, I get everybody's attention real quick. One thing you might want to take a minute to look at, on every table, there's a drawing of the land. You'll just kind of start saying, we're going to talk about that.
Black magic is not an audio source.
And,
Oh, on this one, it wasn't on the other one. So if you click on the little thumb there and look at all the.
Yeah, because that's the output, not the input.
Oh, crap. I don't know
That's
if
the
we're,
playback
I don't know
device.
if we're gonna be able to get this
This
ideal.
isn't getting input from that board. It doesn't have a cable that does that.
So this is just output only.
This is an output only, yes.
Okay.
You would have to have a feed that's probably, my guess would be going to a USB on here from that. And that doesn't exist in this setup.
suggested was we just use that.
So right now, you're just gonna be able to use that microphone. So it's gonna probably sound a little echoey.
Okay, and then I guess it's as good as it's gonna get.
Good as good as.
There's a way to get it better, but that would require getting another
How does the sound
from the board that we could then plug into this. Which I don't know if you have enough. I don't think you have enough accurate input. It looks like everything we use.
Yeah, we're using
I don't think you
everything.
can hear us at all.
We can pull, the one for the wireless mouse, because it doesn't work with the shit anyway. This is just one of the slide adapters, so we can.
Gary, Dan,
So
can you
yeah,
hear
that's
us?
all we need. Sharon is muted.
We can't tell. Yes? Oh, you're muted, but you can hear us. Okay. And I think Sharon can hear us.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Technology is fun. It is our friend.
Not mine.
Sometimes you, yeah. Sometimes you wonder. Okay, so I officially call this town hall meeting to order. And this is open dialogue. If you'd like to speak, we do have a microphone. Greg has the microphone. And please just raise your hand. Then Greg can give Greg a second to bring it to you. Is that right?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's start by talking about the current status of our building. So the Great Hall is complete. Everything we've been wanting to do has been done in here. Fire system's in. We now have a capacity of 349. I don't know why it's not 50, 349. And see, the activity room is occupied. We have an occupancy permit for that, but we need to do some work on the activity room. If you're not familiar, that's the room just off here. Needs to be work on the bathrooms back there. The upper level, some of you may have not even seen it, is still in need of occupancy. To be able to get that occupancy, we need a handicap ramp to be installed tomorrow. So we are making progress. I'll tell you what, Chris, stand up. He's also expert on ramps. If anybody needs a consultant, I'm sure she'll do it for a good price.
I don't even have to look it up anymore.
So yes, actually, that'll be so great. The concrete got poured. A little side note on that. At the last minute, we found a contractor, and he was a young guy trying to start out his own business, and was divine because he needed us and we needed him, and he did it at a better price than anybody had given it to us, and he did it real quickly. So he did a good job. So to get the upper level done, we also still need to install a restroom up there, a handicap restroom. And we're gonna rearrange the walls a little bit so that Jessica actually has an office where Jessica's desk, if you haven't been up there, there'll be library or whatever. I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do with that. We still need to reinstall a portion of the deck that wraps around. We had to remove that deck so that we can take that tree out so we can fix that wall that was in. So that's something that we're looking at. We're currently looking for someone with a contractor's license to work with us on the permits for this work. What we're needing, we're finding a lot of contractors extremely busy, and it's hard to get contractors to come and show up. So what we're looking for is someone that is a licensed builder or licensed contractor that would be willing to help us by pulling the permits, getting the necessary permits and everything. We'll do the work, then the township will do the inspection, so everything will be safe. But that gets these projects moving forward and at a lot less cost. Let's see. We're on budget as far as what we've been doing. This is a beautiful blessing for us. Everything that we've done has been paid for. We do not have a mortgage. We own everything. And we've been able to pay for it, and we've had the money to pay for it. We have $60,000 remaining to complete the upper level for the bathroom and the other, and the deck and stuff. So we're actually in good shape there. Is any questions about that? Yes.
Is our income meeting our monthly needs?
Let's go ahead.
Is our income meeting our monthly expenses?
We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Good question. Any other questions about work on the lodge or anything? And at this time too, I also want to pay a great thanks to all of those volunteers that have been here daily, diligently. Stacy, Sue, Jerry, Craig. These people show up here every day, and they are the reason we got to where we are. So let's give them a big thank you. Okay, operation deficit. The plan. Okay, so just to clarify, actually, Sharon, can you fill us in on that a little better, please? You know the numbers in your head.
Actually, the treasurer, Jane Cluse, is ready to come up and talk about it.
Oh, okay, Jane. Sorry,
We got a
Jane.
great board. Okay.
Want to come up and tell us all about this?
No, but I will.
Thank you for stepping out of your box.
Yeah.
I'm just
Hey,
like.
Jerry. Just in case anybody asks me obscure questions. But Jerry's not here, so that won't happen.
Yes, he is.
God bless you, Jerry. All right.
Hold the mic.
I have to.
Yeah, help so we can hear you better.
All right. Yes, I do need to raise your awareness about our operating deficit. We started the year with a little bit over 35,000 in our operating account, and our deficit to date is 19,000, a little over 19,000, which means that we need to, weekly, we need to bring in about $3,000, and we haven't been. So that money has been paid for by the balance that was in the account at the beginning of 35,000, plus a couple PPP loans from the government, which were both forgiven, which means they don't have to be paid back. And we still have a surplus in our contingency fund of 153,000 and a savings of 20,000. So we are well protected, and of course, at Unity, we believe in abundance, and reaffirm that we will be meeting this deficit. So to answer your question, Joel, the answer unfortunately is no. But the board is looking at other streams of revenue, and we have a lot of options there, and they're moving forward on that. And of course, we stand ready to make any budget cuts that we need to, and what was the other thing? And tap into the contingency if we need to. But again, we've got 153,000 in there and 20,000 in savings. And of course, there were a lot of extenuating circumstances this year. You know, first we had the fire, then we had COVID, then we moved. Actually, we moved twice. And in general, the world is operating at a deficit in all businesses across all industries, and churches are no different. But in our case, we do have a lot of blessings and savings and support that will get us through until we bring that revenue back on. Are there any questions? Does anybody, if anybody wants to see actual budget numbers or financial numbers, you can get with me and I will get you those.
One more question, the
Wait,
contingency.
please. That way, because we're recording this for those that aren't seeing it.
The contingency money is separate. What does that mean exactly? And the 60,000 for the other repairs separate?
Correct. We have the operating checking account. We have a savings account. We have a contingency account, and then we have the renovation account. And I've got to tell you, Sharon is so on track and in tune with those numbers and looks at them. She is just the most fabulous administrator I could ever hope to work with. It's been such an incredible joy and honor to work with her on this. Yeah. Does that answer your question? We do have those 4 different accounts for the.
She wants to know what the contingency fund is for.
The contingency fund. A contingency fund is specifically a savings account for covering operations, and Sharon set that contingency amount to cover 6 months worth of operating deficit. So that's what we're, you know, in our personal lives, they say have 6 months of operating revenue in your savings account. And Sharon made sure that we did that.
It actually was set up for a year.
Was it 1 year?
Yeah, but we're only going to take half of it.
Yeah.
Is that right, Sharon?
Okay, Nan's got her hand up, and let me just answer that question. Yeah, it's almost a year's budget in there, but we know we want to, you always want to keep 3 to 6 months in reserves. And the other thing we thought of, if we find that there's something we want to invest in for the church beyond renovating, that gives us these funds behind us, it just supports us. So that is church growth and development. It's the reserves in case of shortfalls, and also a reminder that we received the PPP grant because everybody's going through the shortage of readjusting income to expenses. So I don't really feel badly, you know, that we are in a deficit right now. That's what businesses are going through, and we're aware of it. And so therefore we can, you know, be in front of it, not all of a sudden go, oh my goodness, look what happened. And I'm going to turn it over to Nan. She had her hand up.
Am I on?
Yep.
Okay. I think it needs clarifying some of the reasons that we are in this deficit of $3,000 to $4,000 a month is we have, we have the band back, which we hadn't had for a while. Maybe we can expand on that. And the idea that maybe some of, we have a lot of things in the works to plan, like maybe doing events, but it won't take long to go through that 6 months. And maybe people could step up a little bit, just a little bit more in their giving. That's my thoughts.
I'd like to say a little something. It cost us more to operate this building than it did the last one, a little bit more. Our internet expenses, to have the live stream, we had to increase the bandwidth, which cost considerably more money. So we are spending a little more, but we've got a better product. Jane Aldrich said it real well one time. She said, we have the money to build a new church. And everyone said, oh, wow, where? It's in your pocket, she said. We have the money to maintain this church, but it's in our pockets. That's it.
So in 2021, we have spent more than we've brought in, which puts us in a deficit, but we're not in the red. We're well in the black. We have a lot of operating support there. And if there are no more questions for me, I'm just going back over there. Thank you.
Let's give Jane. Thank you. Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that we had this foresight to set up a contingency fund back quite some time ago and put money aside for this very purpose. And the board voted to subsidize the next 6 months. But that is only using a portion of the contingency fund. We will still have about 120,000, I think it is, even if we did a subsidy for all 6 months. Also keep in mind that we may not every month need to dip into the contingency as things happen. So, and we are more than blessed, I'll tell you, we really are. Let's see here. All right, so some of the things that we have in mind for we have $30,000 from the reserves to cover the next 6 months that we voted on. Time to develop many rental opportunities. Reverend Sharon and I have started a team, and we're going to form a team with the whole idea of using what we have here. This is an asset. This can make money. It was built to make money. And so we have everything we need. We have a $10,000 sound system. We have a $10,000 video system. These are things that we can offer to people that rent. Like one of the first things we're looking at is businesses for training purposes, seminars and things like that. We're finding that there's actually a need for this type of venue. And we're working with a Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, that worked with Max, Sharon Max, and she is an event planner. And she is very excited about renting out our space. So we're in the process of putting together the core costs so that we know what the cost is, what we have to charge. We also are in the process of putting policies in place so that, when we do rent, like some of the policies we're going to require that they must use our sound people. They can't just come in and start using the sounds. They must use our video person. They must use our janitorial services or maintenance. We're also going to require that a person that, like a Jerry or somebody that will be the building manager or facilitator during the event. So they will always be here. So they open the door to the students. We check with our insurance policy to find out how we can make sure we're covered for that. So we've got a lot of good things in place. We also have, this will probably be down the road a ways, but we do have a commercial kitchen. Some of the ideas that are coming up, I've been in talks with Steve Edwards, and there's a theater group in East Lansing that is looking for a place to have events. And so what we're working on is a dinner theater. We'll have it catered, we'll have an open event, you know, we can make money on the dinner theater. You know, that's something that always generates money. We also, like I said, we're gonna go with the small businesses. And then the other is the weddings. Where we're kind of gonna bring that into the mix at the last, after we get the other things in place. Because one of the issues that we run into with a wedding is they want to have it on a Saturday night. We have church service on Sunday. The process to turn this from a wedding reception room back to the sanctuary is something that we want to make sure we don't get ourselves in trouble with. So those are some of the reasons we're going to move a little slower on that. But we have a lot of things to bring that will make money. We can do that. It doesn't just have to be donations. Yes. Wait a second, let me get your mic.
Oh, here, yep, hang on. Here you go.
We're a nonprofit, so how can we do all of this making extra money?
Very good question. Very good question. So in fact, I was just talking to Greg a little bit about it. There's different ways to do this. One is that we form a separate profit entity, a corporation, and that it does the rental and functions, but then it's part of us, and we get revenues from it. The other avenue that Greg shared with me today, which I think is great, is I guess he's talking to an accountant, and we make it a line item on our tax return, and we pay the taxes. This is taxable. So that is a good question. And we're going to make sure that we do not jeopardize our nonprofit tax exempt status, but we will pay taxes on those things that are taxed. Did that answer your question, Greg? Okay. Any other questions?
I'm ready this time, and nobody has one.
Maybe you got one.
No.
Nope. Okay. The other thing, like I said, we just really are so blessed with everything that we've done. We have spent a lot of money on things that we did not plan on spending money on. And we had the money, you know, and we had enough foresight to set aside some money. I mean, we're in a good place. So, we've created a prosperity prayer, and we'll make sure this gets mailed out to everybody. It was very unique the way we created this prayer, and I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll read it, and then we'll go through it again. I'll do line. Oh, there it comes. And then can't quite read it. Can you read it? Yeah. No.
Let's see if I can make it bigger.
All right, we'll see if we can make it bigger. Like I say, we will send this out to everybody.
Sharon's doing it.
Sharon's doing it, okay. Is that visible now at all? Okay. I don't think that's gonna work out. It's hard to see from on the screen, but, all right, let me read this to you. I think it's unique in the way that this prayer was created. Reverend Sharon started it and then asked all of us board members and leadership council people to add a line or something to this. She took everything that everybody said and then compiled it into this prayer, which is incredible. We will move some things. And before I do this, I wanted to let you know also we're going to be doing SALT and workshops on prosperity. Reverend Sharon's going to be doing a workshop on prosperity. I'm going to, back in February, we'll do the Prosperity Plus. So we've got to get our mindset in the mindset of prosperity. Money don't come from lack, come from abundance. All right, so here you go. I'll read it and then I'll read it one line at a time. You guys can. Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing is open to unlimited possibilities. We have taken up residence in world of abundance. As a divine force for good in the universe, we give generously and receive gratefully. Filled with divine ideas and blessed with the will and understanding to bring them to into manifestation. Source is willing freely source is flowing freely for our highest good. We are awakened and aware. We need our intuition and follow God's guidance every step we take. We declare that there is no lack, there is no blocks, for we are open to source to flow freely through us and as us. With God in charge of our lives and affairs, only good will flow through us. We dedicate all our assets and energies to the will and the work of the Holy Spirit and find joy in every day as our needs are met and exceeded with ease and grace. With hearts overflowing with gratitude, we're humbled with the blessing that poured down on us. And so it is. Namaste. All right, I'll read the line and then you read it. Okay? Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing is open to unlimited possibilities.
Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing is open to unlimited possibilities.
We have taken up residency in the world of abundance.
We have taken up residency in the world of abundance.
As a divine force for God in the universe, we give generously and receive gratefully.
As a divine force for good in the universe, we give generously and receive gratefully.
Filled with divine ideas and blessed with the will and understanding to bring them into manifestation.
Filled with divine ideas and blessed with the will and understanding to bring them into manifestation.
Source flowing freely from our highest good.
Source is flowing freely for our highest good.
We are awakened and aware.
We are awakened and aware.
We heed our intuition and follow God's grace with every step we take.
We heed our intuition and follow God's guidance with every step we take.
We declare that there is no lack.
We declare that there is no lack.
There are no blocks.
There are no blocks.
We are open to the source for freely through us as us.
We are open to source to flow freely through us as us.
With God in charge of our lives and affairs.
With God in charge of our lives and affairs,
only good flow through us.
Only good will flow through us and as us.
We dedicate all our assets and energies to the will.
We dedicate all our assets and energies to the will
and the work of the Holy Spirit.
and work of the Holy Spirit.
And find joy every day as our needs are met and exceeded with ease and grace.
And find the joy in every day as our needs are met and exceeded with ease and grace.
With hearts overflowing with gratitude.
With hearts overflowing with gratitude.
We are humbled with the blessings that pour down on us.
We are humbled with the blessings that pour down upon us.
And so it is. Allah, Shalom.
Amen. Namaste.
We truly are blessed. And also want to let everybody know that we are open to rental of the properties. If there's something that you know of, ideas, suggestions, or other ideas to make money.
Yeah.
Please, Mike.
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment that, you know, how powerful it is to keep in mind our manifestation, what we want to create. We created a children's corner over here. And at the time we created it, we didn't have very many kids coming. And now we have kids coming. So we created and opportunities come, and it just is really powerful to have what we imagine come into existence.
You know, talking about what we imagine, Reverend Kent was here, and we were talking about, also Brenda, the previous. We're talking about the checklist, what we wanted when we came to our new home. At that time, we had no idea where the land was. And this has checked every box, and some that we didn't even know we wanted. So, yep, we're good at manifesting, aren't we? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the land usage. One of the things that we haven't done is because we've been so busy getting the inside and the building ready, is we haven't really thought about where things are going to go out here on our property. We have 10 acres of land. So you'll see the drawing, there's a rough idea of where we would place things. I guess rather than, you know, I'm not going to try to go through it in detail, just you want to take a minute to look at it. And does anybody have questions or suggestions? Greg? Sue? Oh, Craig first.
There was a pair of guys walking the property for setting up a frisbee golf course. They said it looked like it was available to them. What's happened with it?
That's a good question. We did have a gentleman that lives right here approach us to set up a frisbee golf course. Sounds like a great idea. We really like the idea. The board looked at it a little closer, and we've kind of decided to put it on hold a little bit because first we want to decide where we want to put the things that we want. There were some unanswered questions about would it interfere. It has good potential, and we're not ruling it out. He's willing to put in the, oops, I just turned myself off.
Probably one, yeah.
Can you hear me? No, I turned it on. Oh, there we go. I hit the button. We're not ruling it out. We want to answer some more questions. Some of the concerns are, you know, once they're there, sorry, the young man said that he'll pay for it, about $3,000. But will it interfere with what we're doing? Do we want to have our property be that open? So these are some of the questions that we're going to discuss. And as we come back and revisit that, we'll make sure that everybody is in the loop and that your input is definitely very valuable. Good question. Thank you, Craig. Sue. Tell you what, Greg, can get some work out the steps.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to say that when we were looking at this, the community area, we were thinking a community area also means kids.
Can't hear what you're saying.
She said, she said that the community area you see, that's also there was discussion of like kids, like a playground or something for kids.
Yeah, just comments. I mean, I would go slow, and if any garden area it needs to be hosed, but everything will need maintenance, so I wouldn't rush too much.
We agree. Yeah, we found out the need of watering when we paid, you're required to put in the landscaping between the two homes and stuff, and then we discovered we got to figure out how to keep this water. I tell you what, Jerry, they came up with some creative ways that it got done. Yes, thank you for that. Anybody else?
Well, Jill mentioned that maybe that area by the parking lot, that land was sloped there. She thought maybe a perennial garden would look good there because there would always be color going on. You need a lot of maintenance. So that was her suggestion.
Great. What I would like is that please send it to Reverend Sharon or myself in an email, any suggestions that you have. And then, like I say, next Sunday, I think it's next Sunday, is that the 7th? Yep, okay. So we're gonna have a salt session for this, to discuss this stuff. Definitely, we're gonna take our time, we're not gonna rush into it, because we've got such a beautiful asset, so we wanna take full advantage of it. Okay, questions? Okay, at this point, it's Let's see. Q&A time. Open the floor to any comments or any suggestions or questions somebody might want to ask. I think we must be well informed.
Or hungry, right?
Yeah, hungry. Okay, well, there's no other questions. Thank you so much. We are truly blessed. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you, Dan.